All right, guys, this is Stressed here with
KV.
and
John.
and we're just going to be covering some basic Zerg build orders and some general discussion of ZvZ in StarCraft 2. And I'll take it away to the person that actually still plays this game consistently.
Okay, so ZvZ has changed a lot since, beta and the early days of StarCraft 2. Back then it was just 6 pool every game, or 10 pool, 12 pool, all the early cheesy stuff. And now that's actually not nearly as viable as before. It used to be such a dice roll, and now there's so many more things you can do with it, and you can even do things like you could fast expand and hatch first, which something back in the day would have been you have to be insane to hatch first. So now there's just a big variety of builds you can do. Speedling, expand, they're practically all expand builds now. And so it's just changed so much. So there are some that are like Speedling expand, which you can get some Speedlings out fairly early, and you can use that to defend well. And you could also get out defensive Banelings, which are one of the most popular things right now in ZvZ. So when you have those defensive Banelings, it's really hard for their lings to get to you until they have some sort of roaches or something, or if they have a really good micro. So that can be pretty difficult if you have those defensive Banelings.
Yeah, for sure. And just to reiterate kind of on the whole old school hatch first, anything ZvZ, if you built anything but that 6 pool or 10 pool or just that early pool for just that cheesy Zerg all-in style that everybody used to play, you were just absolutely fucking insane. But now, as we see the game go on, and hell, Heart of the Swarm is just around the corner by the sounds of it, but who knows, we're talking about a Blizzard game here, it'll be another 3-4 years. And you can just see the metagame and just basically the whole game being played in a completely different light than it first was.
Yeah, it's changed so much, and there are hatch first builds, there's speeding expand builds, there's roach builds, and before then, like if you got Mutalisks in ZvZ, that was maybe 1 in 20 games. And now it's practically every other game. ZvZ games used to last every time under 10 minutes, and now there are several over.
Yeah, now it's basically Zerg versus Zerg are starting to be the longer big macro battles, because now everybody is really starting to kind of play off of each other and watch and really learn how to counter each build. So it's just once you get to that high tier of play that people are just so evenly matched that the games can go on for fucking ever. I mean, I was watching the NASL stream the other day, and oh, damn it, I can't remember who it was between. It was between 2 Zergs. I think one was Illusion. I can't quite remember, but
I think I might know what you're talking about.
but it was like a 43-minute Infestor Roach Broodlord just fucking battle. And it was like you could even hear in the caster's voice, like, Jesus Christ, is this shit ever gonna end?
Yeah, definitely. Almost reminds me, yeah, when I see a ZvZ above 20 minutes, it's almost like that Stefano versus Kiwikaki game where it was over an hour.
Yeah.
It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to see how fast Stefano plays. To see a game stretched out that long, you're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so good.
Yeah. So we have 2 replays today, 2 ZvZ replays, and the first one is from 2 platinum players that we randomly found on the big worldwide interwebs, and the other, I believe, is between, who is it between? Oh yeah, it is between Rhett and Sleep, I believe.
Yeah, it was between Liquid Ret and Sleep. Both
Check
two
Sleep.
two very, very high level Zergs. I really love Sleep's play, but I've been following Ret for a lot longer, and watching him at the Red Bull LAN, or was it that? Or no, it was Red Bull Training Grounds. And just watching him make leaps and bounds in his late game with that Infestor Broodlord played was just really fucking cool.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things to see how they just... I love that whole series of tournaments, but there's... On to ZvZ.
Yeah. All right.
So
You wanna let's just go over some basic starting build orders, perhaps? Sounds good.
yeah. So okay. So the speeding expand build I was talking about earlier is actually a you go gas first, and it's 13 gas, then 13 pool. But then generally afterwards, you will get your hatch at about 20, which we will see in the in the pro game later on. But there's also hatch first. You can do
Okay, wait,
15
wait,
hatch.
hang on, hang on.
Oh wait.
Sorry. But speedling expand, go over the build order just one more time. That was kind of quick. Was it 13 gas, 13 pool, you said?
Yes, 13 gas, 13 pool,
Okay, and then what
and
did you say comes
it,
around the 20 supply mark? I didn't quite catch
your
that.
first hatch,
Okay,
your expansion. Yeah.
expand. All right.
And so then, and the thing is, when if you do it correctly, then you put the drones in right on time, and you make everything right on time, then it will line up perfectly. So you have 100 on 100 to make your speed as soon as the pool comes up. It is the fastest speed you can get.
Yeah, I've been noticing that because I normally play a 14 gas, 14 pool, like 20 some expand. And I've noticed at 14, I have just a little bit more gas than I actually need. So I may actually be trying this because I do go for that fairly early expand just to get my econ rolling for roaches and whatnot. But I don't know, something I could definitely wrap my hands around and toy with.
Yeah, it's a much safer expansion than say the next build order, which is like a 15 hatch. One of the most common is a 15 hatch, 15 pool, 17 gas.
So that's hatch first, of course.
Yep.
15
And
hatch, 15 pool,
then 17 gas.
17 gas. All right. Sorry, just trying
And
to get
so,
all this down to make sure.
yeah, and with that build order, it'll actually line up so you can make your two queens as soon as the hatchery finishes, and the hatchery and the spawning pool will finish at the exact same time, and you will have 300 minerals. People have these timed out so well, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. You said two queens as soon as the second hatch finishes, right?
As soon as the first expansion finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. With second hatch. Awesome.
Then there's a variety of roach builds and all ends you can do that normally start with gas first, about like 14 gas, 14 pool, and then most of them expand a bit later on.
Yeah, normally with that, they're playing really kind of conservative, just one basing, not using,
Yeah.
like, they're really skimping on all aspects that they can to keep that mineral and gas up for that big early to mid game push with roaches.
Yeah, so you can get the nice big swell of roaches. Their expand normally doesn't go around until 24 to 26 supply. But you can tell now in ZvZ, all these builds, the big thing is expansion. You have to get that expansion early because both of you will be going for that expansion.
Yeah, really,
And
I've
now,
never,
yeah,
not to interrupt you or anything, but I've been noticing like every game I've really watched, Zerg is no longer trying to play that one base for very long like they used to. Because remember, Zergs used to be one basing until like around 32, 34 supply, and then finally just
yeah,
then really cranking out expansions. But it just seems like in today's game, everybody is playing that really risky and fast early game that, I mean, it has a lot of holes in it, but it also has a lot of like greatness and strength to it. But I don't know, it's just weird for me to watch now and see just how evolved the game has changed over the past, what has it been, 2, 3 years that this game has been out?
yeah, I believe
Because I know,
it's been 2 years because it came out 2010.
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember, because I remember sitting here waiting for the UPS guy. Where's my fucking StarCraft 2? And it ended up being like 2 days late, man.
Oh,
I
that
was
sucked.
bumming so hard. I would sit here on my bed and stare out my fucking window. I was so psyched for this game.
That sucks.
I mean, hell, the
Yeah,
first game I ever really played was the original StarCraft. So, I mean, I've been kind of in it to win it since this game came out.
same here. I was the best 6-year-old at Brood War ever.
I was a fucking A plus 6 year old.
No, no, D minus, of course, but I was 6, so it was impressive.
Hey, whichever, you're still in the ranking system.
Yeah.
But John, is there any? Wait, John, you there?
Yeah.
Are you
Sorry.
out? Are you making food, you son of a bitch? No, I'm cleaning up. Oh, all right. Well, I'm assuming you've been listening. Do you have any questions so far? Any confusion? Because I know this is kind of here to help you out as well. Good answer. Good answer. Moving on. All right.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So the thing is, you can do some pretty risky stuff that to play off of the new metagame because back then seven 7 OV would have actually been the standard for ZvZ, but now it's very rare, but it can be very effective if you use it well enough.
Yeah, it's you may not be able to go necessarily for the kill with those kind of builds, but it's just a matter of using those links really effectively for scouting and pokes and just kind of keeping your opponent I don't want to say afraid, but aware that there is the presence of them being overrun by very, very early Zerglings.
Hmm.
And I mean, regardless, if you don't use them to max effectiveness, like say you don't go in and just face roll his fucking SCV line or his drone line or whatever, you can still use those Zerglings comboed with roaches or whatever you decide to go in the mid game.
Yeah, true. It's really weird how the 7 OE you can actually sort of pull out of it and get a good economy going. You just have really early Zerglings to keep you safe,
Hmm.
and it's really weird, but it can be really effective used like that. But most of the time, people send out a drone with it as well, so it's like a six pool, but then they also have a spine crawler building on their opponent's base.
Yeah,
Just because actually on the very very edge of the creep they cannot see that, they don't have vision of that, of the very
really.
very edge of their creep. Yeah, it's true. So you can actually build the spine crawler there and they will not know a thing.
Wow, I'm actually, if I do some ladders today or some customs, I'm hella messing with that because
Yeah, i
I've
can i can show you today.
I've never really fucked around with those cheesy builds a whole lot just because I mean I'd much prefer to learn like an actual build order. But I mean it's all a matter of having fun and goddamn it that sounds hilarious.
It
Just
is.
just poke in with Zerglings, pull back, and they're like, oh fuck, there is a spine crawler in my base. And then
Yeah,
they're basically contained to that base until they can get a decent amount of roaches or they go absolutely ape shit with drones and lings.
the thing is, what people do most of the time is they build the spine crawler on the very edge, and then they send the lings in to harass, and they have them using all their micro to deal with that, and then they uproot the spine crawler, move it closer, and then basically basically it's not the lings that you're trying to get to do the damage, but the spine crawler.
Yeah, it's really all about that spine crawler.
Yeah.
But yeah, that actually sounds really entertaining. I'm gonna have to fuck around with that because I guarantee any low leaguer will absolutely have a shit fit provided he sees that in his base.
It's hilarious because my last few games have, like the last few games that I've won, they've won simply because I had lings in their base. I didn't like crush their army and I was killing everything, but I had lings in their mineral line and they just left. No GG. And so if there's any sort of unit in your mineral line and like stuff's being killed and you quit, you don't GG. That's people never do.
Yeah, really. I mean, then again,
It's
BM is kind of rampant in anything under like
Yeah.
masters or really high, you know?
Which I think we're actually going to see in this first replay.
Oh God, I remember you showing me the
Yeah.
end of this replay.
Okay.
Kind
So
of
are we
like
gonna go ahead and jump to this replay now?
hang on, I just want to that Spanishiwa thing that you brought up yesterday where he used a hatchery to block the Protoss's natural. Did you watch that game all the way to the end and watch the guy
Yes.
flip the fuck out at the end? The dude
Yes, yes.
tried
No, I didn't.
the dude sat there and called Spanishiwa a fucking scrub and told him to learn how to play. It's like, dude,
Oh, I
Spanishiwa is
that guy.
slowly but surely becoming one of the best Zergs in the game, and you're gonna sit there and tell him to learn how to play because you tried to fuck with him first. Nice.
Yeah, that's okay. The backstory to this is Spinny Chihuahua was streaming and he was saying no, don't block it because it was a ZVP. So the guy was forward fast expanding, and he was like, "No, don't block." He was trying to expand, and he kept blocking it with his probe. And then finally, he was like, "Don't put down that pylon. You better not put down that pylon." And he had his scouting drone in the enemy base. So the guy puts down the pylon. He's like, "I warn you, motherfucker." Puts down the hatchery and his natural. He just expands into his enemy's natural.
Oh my God, that I
And he
wish
ended up winning the game.
I
It was
wish
the
I
most
yeah.
hilarious thing.
I wish I had actually been watching that match from the start because I didn't get to see that part. But I remember you telling me that, and I was like, TeamLiquid.net, Spanishiwa stream. I gotta watch this.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't even know Spanishiwa had a stream. I've never really seen him on there before.
Oh yeah, he
Hmm.
streams. He that's what he mainly does.
Huh. Yeah, I guess I've never just been on or paid attention to. I guess it just never popped into my head. Oh, wow, that's Spanishiwa's stream. But is there any
Yeah.
other interesting or clever little ZvZ builds we can think of to go over? We've got Speedling Expand, Hatch First, that Roach play, the funny little harass. I'm trying to think, but there really isn't.
Then
I mean, is there
if you
any?
want, you could possibly turtle up for two base muta, but it's it. Well, I'll talk about why that's not effective in this replay.